termites. Fire. I still have my Christmas hat on because right now it's not Christmas yet. You will hear this after Christmas, but I get to pretend like it's still Christmas because it is not yet Christmas, technically. It's a seasonal, and this is awesome. I'll take that down when it's time. And my blinky hat, which says St. Louis Cardinals. Can you see the FTL? Mm-hmm. I love the little blinky hat. It's episode 70. Termites, isn't that crazy? I know. It's very crazy. And I have returned from where? Aspen, darling. I was in Aspen. Aspen is adorable. It looks, adorable. But, you'd have to have billions of dollars to have, like, a super fancy house there. But, and I don't ski. But what I was super impressed with the dog park at night, all of the people had on Christmas lights on their dog harnesses, and it was awesome at night. And a full moon. I posted a little video on Instagram of that. The Wheeler Opera House is completely cool. A little sad they didn't have they weren't serving alcohol to the people, so that's not Christmas. I know, and you had to wear a mask, and some places it's city rules, some places it's up to some guy named Greg. You just don't know what's gonna happen. I don't ask any questions. I'm glad people show up. It's hard to get in and out of Aspen, even if this is how rich Aspen is. There's more private planes at the airport than regular ones. No way. Yep. And then my flight didn't come in on American. American were this close to being divorced. This close. Because they didn't fly the plane in from Dallas, so I had no plane in the morning, which just proceeded to start a shit show that unraveled. And Lewis kept telling me, my friend, the comedian Lewis Black, Lewis keeps telling me United's really upped its game, okay? Because I vote for Delta all the time, anywhere. Second place, I vote for Southwest. Right. That's my hierarchy. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, they've really upped their game. And so I had to end up on United to get to Denver, to get to Nashville. And I sat down and looked up, and there's a lit picture of a cigarette with a line through it. Really, Lou? I haven't seen that in 10 years. That's how goddamn old this plane is, that they're still going, don't smoke. I'm surprised there weren't screwed in ashtrays. And the only reason there weren't screwed in ashtrays is because on a complimentary note, United, they did have DirecTV, so they have the NFL Network, so I could watch live football. And I can't say that about my favorite Delta. No, can I? No. But United, I might fly on a plane that's entirely too old to be flying just to watch live football. Like I might consider. Okay, I'm okay with that. But how's your fantasy team? My fantasy team is in the consolation bracket. Oh, no. Yeah, but that doesn't crush my spirit to kick everyone's ass in the loser bracket. I want to be queen of the losers. Yeah, I think I'll end up playing Lewis. Yep. Oh. At this point, this is how it's going to go with the Super Bowl, too. Whoever doesn't have COVID wins. And if you can prove none of you guys have COVID, you shouldn't even have to play in the Super Bowl. You should just get to go, oh, you won. Because I just read Texas A&M can't play in their bowl game, Gator Bowl. The coach of the Jets has COVID. A bunch of Lewis's Washington Football Club people have COVID. It hasn't gotten to the Titans yet so much, but Kansas City, Tyreek Hill, a lot of people in Kansas City. So far, my teams have, for the most part, not been affected. Nice. Yeah, so there you go. But everybody who came out, who came out in Austin, Mississippi? John Oates from Hall & Oates. Oh, cool. Yeah, I met him a long time ago through another friend of a friend. He's a very, very nice guy, and his wife is awesome, too. And, he just texted out of nowhere. I'm like, what? And then the opening act, Michael's always impressed that I have friends that he's heard of. He goes, wait, like the one from Hall & Oates? I'm like, yeah, it's not that common of a last name. I go, yeah, the one. He goes, he couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, he goes, that's just crazy. My dad couldn't even believe you knew Greg Gumbel. And now this guy? I'm like, every week, Michael, I'm going to bring back somebody famous. It's just so your dad could laugh. No, it was very complimentary because. What else did I do? Well, I went shopping and looked at things that I wouldn't afford if I could afford. There was a pair of Christian Dior fake snow boots. Well, I thought they were snow boots. They're not really snow boots. They're not ski boots. They're snow boots. They're après-ski boots. Après-ski. If you didn't take high school French, that means after. They were $4,200 and they're white. What? Yep. And they say Dior in big letters, like for the people that want to show off their brand. Like me and Lou are anti-label, if possible. I mean, I'll take beer. That could say, I'll take a spot. Just shouting that out again, Anheuser-Busch. I will take a sponsor. I'll wear whatever you tell me to wear for the right amount of money. But voluntarily, no. But I loved shopping. I loved, because I'm not going to buy any of it, but I just want to see the realm of rich that exists. And I would stay, the Opera House people put me up in a very nice hotel right down in the town square. Looked at, it was called the Limelight. It was very, very nice. Really, the room was like awesome, over the top. I even took a video of the mini fridge because I've never seen anything so adorable. But it was really one of a kind. But like we were saying, we're not even where the super rich aren't down in town. They're up in all those little hills that look like a Thomas Kincaid in their mansion. Yeah, they're looking down at me in the town square like the little tiny hoe that I am. You went to Hotel Jerome? I went to Hotel Jerome. If you're ever in Aspen, you should go in there. I just went to go in and have a drink because it's the oldest hotel in Aspen, and it's super cool, and it's from the late 1800s. And then in the 60s, it kind of fell into disarray, and it was a little dilapidated. And that's when all the counterculture people snuck in and started taking showers and using the bathrooms. And I'm like, counterculture is always cool till you need a shower. And then all of a sudden, we all want to be cultured. Right. Well, they somehow redid it in the 80s when that flush of money came, and then later on in the 2000s, they kept going. So that's just a little travel tip. Maybe I'll write a travel book. You Termites want a travel book? Yeah. Tell you where the good bars are? Places to drink. Yeah. Places to go gawk. I mean, some of the shopping. Come on. Yeah, like, oh, isn't this a cute? I'm like, oh, that's a cute little sweater. $380. Oh, come on now. I'm just going to get spaghetti on it or something. $380. Like, yeah. Well, spaghetti's always the killer. So what are we drinking? This is amazing, Termites. Now, a lot of you may have already seen this. It's in every store where there's liquor. It's Bailey's Light. Yes. Now, I haven't tasted it yet, but I looked on the back, and it's only 136 calories because it's 40% less sugar. But I waited for you guys. Shake it? Yeah. Well. It says shake on it. It does? Yes. Oh, okay. By the way, I tasted the new Wendy's fries they're bragging about. I have videos of that, too, on the way up to Aspen. Wow, that's a delicious pour. Isn't it? Right? With a beer chaser? Generous pour. Let's see if it's as good as the real Bailey's. Okay. Yeah. Really? Yeah. Great. I don't know. Wait, I'm getting an aftertaste. Oh, no. No, I can't vote for it. It tastes like there's Splenda or something in here. It probably is. Yeah. Oh. Sorry. Boo. What are we trying? Now, this is amazing. As an American, when I went to Canada to do a comedy deal for the first time ever, I saw these Kinder Surprise things. Yeah. And those were not in the United States. Nowhere to be found. They're European, and then the Canadians, because you guys are hooked up with the European, the thing. You guys get them. But for kids, there's so... And then I tried to bring them back over the border, and they told me that I couldn't because they didn't know what was in the eggs. I'm like, right, they're surprises for kids. You're not supposed to know what's in the egg, jackass. You really think that I've created... Like, oh, no, well, I did that one on purpose because I wanted it to be easy. I'm going to do it the hard way. So they come in these things. Now, let me get one out. No, I know. I'm going to rip the box. These are kind of more elaborate than, but for kids, these are so much cool. They're so cool. I would have, little kids, like 3, 4, not bigger kids. Oh, that was another thing, too, why they couldn't have them here, because they were just convinced that American children were so stupid. The rest of every other child in the world was on board with don't eat the toy. But I don't know about you American idiots. I mean, look at them. Don't eat the toy. Do you see their news? I don't trust them. God damn, don't give them. All right, here we go. So this part is candy. It's like a white chocolate with a cookie in it. I don't know the kids are going to. It just tastes like chocolate, though. They won't know that it's not sophisticated white chocolate. Let's put it that way. And then on this side of the egg is a toy. The one that I already previously opened, it looks like Army Men, but it's not. I don't know. It's a green monster thing. Oh, wow. See, you have to put your little man together, though. Oh, look, it's a Christmas one. So is that one. Maybe it's the Grinch. I don't know. But I would say if you see these at, I don't know, Walmart, Kmart, wherever. Well, there's no Kmarts left. Target. They're super fun, very Christmassy, and a little kid. And you know what? If you think your kid's not the brightest one in the brightest needle in the haystack, don't give it to them. Because they are tiny. Yeah. But I mean, if you have a dumb one out of your group, give them something different. Give them a different toy. But that's what... I'm also going to be trying this this ranch. It's called Marzetti. It's light. Yes, I haven't opened it yet. Usually, it's got carrots in it. I'm always leery of that. What? Why are you shoving vegetables in there already? And it's got broccoli. Mm-hmm. No? Let me see your carrots. They're in it? Yeah. It's or there's just orange shit in there. Yeah. It's a dip, I think. Yeah, but it's a ranch. It's a vegetable dip. Oh. It's fine for vegetables. Yeah. It doesn't even say, though, it's got, I think there's broccoli flakes in there, too. Come on. I don't know. I'm just going to say there's better ones out there. Okay. If we have to get down to it like that. No problem. God, I'm so disappointed in that Bailey's. They'll never sponsor me. Try again. All right. Maybe you got a bad sip. Well, I would only drink Bailey's once a year anyway. Right. So why not just drink the real stuff? Right. Better. Maybe I didn't shake it enough. Better after the broccoli. Mm-hmm. It's okay. I would just say go run an extra time around your house to get rid of those 45 calories. That's what I would do. Here's the last thing, because I found these in Pennsylvania. I don't know what they are. Tastykake Holiday Cookies. Tastykake is famous up there. They're famous up in Pennsylvania? Yeah. Well, they looked fun. Good enough. It's like a Christmas cookie. Great. I think that's what they're going for. Take a whole bucket. Yeah, no, they're good. What easy way to walk into my brother's house to go, don't say I didn't do nothing, Pat. There's a whole bucket of cookies. There's a whole bucket. All right, moving on. A few things from termites. This is from Cynthia, and it's a Clydesdale ornament. Love it. It's a little old-timey beer stein, and the Clydesdale's on it. And it says Kurt Adler. Why do I know that name? I think he builds furniture. He's a famous person. Or is he an artist? Something. I really do love this, though. It's very Christmassy. Thank you, Cynthia. Ornaments, nutcrackers, nativities. I thought it was a guy from... Nativities? He makes those, too? Yeah. Oh, I have to get baby Clydesdales and make a nativity about that. With that. How great would that be? The barn is a barn, and then all the Clydesdales are coming. It is too late this year. I didn't have any time this year because I was out doing shows for the people. I'm doing the work of the Lord here. I'm doing it on the road, everywhere. This made me laugh my ass off. This was sent. It's the shaman from the Q guy, the one that raided the Capitol. It said, "Flying saucer turkey." Get it? Turkey with the Q of the year 2021. That made me laugh really hard. And I was going to put my beer in there, but I failed to do that. And that's from Travis. Molly, Michelle, and Beth. So that's very cool. I will be drinking a lot out of that. And then one more termite item, some little ranch earrings that they would like me to wear in Columbus, Ohio. When I do what? When I do Cleveland, Columbus, and Pittsburgh, which will be in January. I think that's the first week out, if all still goes well. Look at that. There's a hummingbird that pops right out of the card. How great is that? But then you have to pull. This is from Jody. Yeah, so that's a thank you for the Pubcast. Well, you're very welcome. And if I remember, I will wear these on stage. No problem. You people can dress me up. I'll wear earrings. Somebody sent me a pair of pants because I said I didn't have any pants. I haven't had time to try them on yet, but, great. Send me pants. I don't care. I mean, don't really do it, but I don't mind that someone did. Put it that way. All right. Send me pants. She did. Yeah. All right. So that's that. Oh, I didn't light my candles. So that's all right. The tree's lit. Oh, I didn't do that. Ghost is the real saint. Spooky. I was in the grocery store today, and I swear to God, I saw those thin pretzel crisp. They're like, there was no one in the aisle, and it just flew off the shelf. Huh. Yeah. Didn't fall. Flew. Landed on the ground. Were you drinking? Nope. Was not drinking. Okay. I was buying alcohol, but I wasn't drinking it. All right. Update! In this ongoing saga of people selling their music catalogs, Bruce Springsteen has sold for $500 million. He signs a deal with the Perfect Storm, and the Perfect Storm Brewing in music. Now, here's what I'm going to have to do at Christmas. I'm going to have to ask my brother, the financial man. He was laughing because he was talking to my dad. He goes, I think Dad thinks I still work like on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, where there's like white tickets flying everywhere that look like confetti, and you're on a landline. He goes, sometimes. Anyway, there's some tax thing they're gaining here that I don't really understand, but I'll make him explain it, and then I'll dumb it down so we all get to understand it. This could have big implications for the music industry. This week, Bruce Springsteen sold his master recordings. Ooh. I don't think you should. And publishing rights to his Sony deal worth $500 million. According to multiple outlets, Sony and Springsteen did not immediately respond to Yahoo Finance's request for comment. Well, here's the thing. If I'm going to answer a financial publication, it's probably not going to be Yahoo! If the Wall Street Journal or Forbes or I don't know, but I mean, I check Yahoo Finance. I look at stocks on there and stuff, but it just doesn't look like a serious thing. Sony has been Springsteen's homes for the past 5 decades. Thanks to this deal, the studio will now have full ownership for the rocker's entire collection, including the hits Born to Run, Thunder Road, and Born in the USA. The historic deal underscores a new age when the music industry is streaming, led by Spotify, and Apple continues to balloon the value of songs and records. By the way, side note, if you listen to me on Spotify, the Pubcast is still there, but some of the stand-up stuff isn't, because there's a fight about something about rights, and they're working on it, and that's, I don't really know anything more than that, but you're always available on Sirius and Pandora. I'm always available on Sirius and Pandora. Yeah, or you could call my mom's house, and she'll send you a cassette. Oh my God. She literally called last week. She goes, hey, do you want some cassettes? I go, no, Mom, I don't have anywhere to play a cassette. She goes, well, I have Fleetwood Mac. I said, well, I still don't have anywhere to play a cassette. No matter what you say, I don't have a place to play a cassette. It doesn't. What about a stop smoking one? No, I already stopped smoking. I don't need that, and I still don't have a place to play. Anyway, I don't know what's really happening there. Okay, so it's the streaming thing. It continues to balloon the value of songs and records. A former regular label executive who worked at Sony Universal told Yahoo Financing that streaming has provided stability. The key that the business has become predictable, according to so-and-so who teaches music at so-and-so place. It doesn't matter. Investors can trust in the future of business because it's growing. When you eliminate the uncertainty, it opens a new door for investors. Springsteen's deal is particularly interesting since it shows how record labels now want a piece of the action as opposed to music investment funds like London-based I don't even know how. Biggest sales catalog, Bruce Springsteen #1, Bob Dylan #2. Who? That lady over there. Stevie #3. No, Neil Young is #3. Then Stevie. Pretty good, though. Pretty good, Stevie. Springsteen's not the only big name. We know that. Red Hot Chili Peppers sold theirs for $150 million. Too much. Yeah. Don't like Bob Dylan, $300 million. Stevie, $100 million. Stevie's worth more than the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah. I agree. Stevie needed a better agent or lawyer. or the Red Hot Chili Peppers have the best one ever. It's the perfect storm for artists who can now maximize the return of the sale of those assets. I don't know. I mean, you're giving it up forever. Maybe if you don't care about, we go back to that thing, I've said it before. Do you care about your nieces, nephews, kids, whatever? Or you just give them the money and let them run hog wild? I don't know. They're going to get the money one. Right. So you could put it in a trust. Yeah. Lewis said one time he was going to put stuff into trust, and then if he died, would I run that? And I'm like, have we met? I don't know how to run a trust. No. He said, well, it'd be with some other people. And I go, so you're telling me you're going to be dead and you want to give me more jobs. Right. How about giving me some money?
Right. This will be fun. No.
Do I get paid to do it? I said, fine, I'll do it, but just know I don't know what I'm doing. That's about it. It's just I don't know. I'm going to have to ask my brother about the tax implications. Like, is it a better thing if you can just sell it all now in one hunk? Is there some tax thing? There must be a thing. Because why is everyone doing it? Right. When it seems stupid to me because, Bruce Springsteen's not young. He's probably 70, but he's got a wife and kids. And, you're going to give up Born in the USA? People might want to buy that for a movie 10 years from now for, to put it in a movie or, I don't know.
Play it at a rally.
Update! Yeah, play it at a rally. No shit. You know how many times Bruce Springsteen called Trump's people, said stop it? And then I heard somebody else's at one of the Bill O'Reilly one. There was a clip on it somewhere. Oh, it was Dolly. They were playing Jolene.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh. Oh. I guess they're paying ASCAP fees and they don't have to get permission to what they're playing. They don't have to contact the artist. Wow. But then somebody else, like Kiss, somebody else said no. Senor Trumpez, no.
Wow.
I don't remember who it was. Might have been the Rolling Stones. Yeah, it was because it was you can't always get what you want. Update! I am fascinated with the Mexican drug lords. All of them. And some of them not even Mexican. But El Chapo is now in a high security prison in Colorado. I believe about an hour and a half south of Denver, if I'm right. His wife was detained at Dulles in D.C., and I think she's cooperating, but I think she's still in custody. El Chapo, this is so old school. It's so mobby. El Chapo's 4 sons reportedly held a party where 8 cars were raffled to residents in the town in the Mexican state of Sinaloa. I never can say that right. Sinaloa. Ovidio Guzman Lopez, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, Ivan Archibald Guzman Salazar, Jesus Alfred Guzman Salazar are known as Los Chapitos.
Ooh, Chapitos.
His boys are the fugitive sons of the fugitive sons of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Reportedly, they had a bash Christmas Day. They gave away cars and gifts, and they had a band, and it was called Narco Fiesta, which took place. They had many live bands, including those, and many lucky. There's videos of it. It's at one point there's like 35 people on stage playing music. It's awesome. It was so great. And then 8 brand new cars were given away. Toys, you should see. There's videos. We'll put it in the show notes. The shit this guy was giving away. This is what you have to do though. You know who was better? El Chapo wasn't that good at it. Pablo Escobar was great at it. And the mob in the United States. My friend Diane used to live in this neighborhood in Chicago. And she'd go, I'll tell you, when the mob's over, because it's just a man with free tomatoes. And he says, how you doing? How you doing, Diane? Here's some free tomatoes. She goes, I know what I'm taking. But what do I care? They're free tomatoes. I go, right. I would too. There was a black sticker on all of the toys and goods that carried El Chapo's initials.
That's great.
Yeah. So the boys, you should say that it's a professional stage. It's like for real, like a Bonnaroo type thing.
Really?
Yes, the whole town is in on it. State public security officials told the outlet that while they were unaware of any events held publicly by the cartel and El Chapo's sons, it was something to be expected of them because they're well known in the northern region of the state. Oh, I think the police knew exactly what was happening.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're probably there.
They were probably there drinking and eating too. The whole thing looked like a blast. I hate to say that. I know the drug people do bad things and there's a lot of damage done. But if you didn't know that and just walked into that, you'd be like, this is a great party. Wow, they're giving away 8 cars and 17 bands. They held a similar event in San Diego in 2020. in the a neighborhood in the Culiacan borough of El Dorado. That party was attended by 800 people. Was shut down by the military due to COVID. Wait, there's something about... Okay, this is great. Colombian drug lord Escobar once ordered the construction of more than 200 homes for poor families living in the Medellin slum of Moravia, and also built more than 50 soccer pitches. He also made his henchmen deliver loads of gifts ahead of Christmas. Yeah. You know, and how does the government compete with that? You can't. I mean, you can't. There's no government that could do that.
That's great.
Yeah. Los Chapitos.
Where is he?
Update on the traitors that attacked the Capitol. You always wonder, are they going to get away with that? Can you just go in and start destroying things? Will you get in trouble? Well, here's something. You will get in trouble. As we know, the shaman, he had to go to his night-night.
Yeah.
Go to jail right now. No, they're going to give him his diet that he wants. He gets his food. Yeah. Florida man was sentenced to more than 5 years behind bars for storming the U.S. Capitol. The harshest penalty dished out yet over the insurrection. Robert Palmer, not the singer, he's dead, 54, was handed a 63-month sentence after he pleaded guilty in October to attacking police officers during the riot. I watched this whole thing live, and I could not believe it was happening, and I could not believe that the president or somebody didn't do something and let it go on for 6 hours. They're climbing the walls. Yeah. And what's crazy is when I saw them scaling the walls, I'm like, how dumb are these people? The steps are open. Right. They're available. It was to be like Rambo or some shit. They had a picture in the mind. You have to scale a wall if it's a castle from 1640 in the moat. You got to get across the moat and scale a wall. But there were steps. So not only were they
felt better.
Yeah. Attacking our cop, and then these are the people that say they love the cops, but you're totally willing to attack them. Right. What about the boys in blue? All of a sudden it didn't matter. This guy said, Your Honor, I'm really ashamed of what I did. He told Judge Tanya Chutkin through sobs on Friday. He was in the front lines of the mob attempting to disrupt certification of the election. He threw a wooden plank at cops before spraying a fire extinguisher that he also then hurled at them. A fire extinguisher, right. He was halted briefly when he was pepper sprayed by law enforcement, but then again, but it's not funny, but then again, he attacked them with a pole. He didn't stop. In a handwritten letter to the judge, Palmer said he and the supporters of former Donald Trump were lied to by those at the time who had great power. They kept spitting out a false narrative about a stolen election and how it was our duty to stand up to tyranny, whatever you want to call it. Tyranny. But there is the video of Don Jr. and Kimberly while it's all going on, and Kimberly's in the video just going, fight. So
she's a moron.
He isn't necessarily too far off, but you're 54 years old. No matter who told you to do what, you should know better. Palmer, one of the several witnesses, argued it wasn't fair he was being punished so severely when many ringleaders aren't in jail. This is a great answer by the judge. The people who extorted you and encouraged you and rallied you to take action have not yet been charged. This is not the court's decision. I have my opinions, but they are not relevant. Thank you once for a judge just saying, I'm just the ref here, man.
Right.
Yeah. The previous long sentence was Capitol rioter, as we know, who? Our shaman that we have the glass for now. This guy, Jacob Chansley of Arizona. He got 41 months. The judge said, I'm trying, it has to be made clear, trying to stop the peaceful transmission of power and assaulting law enforcement officers is going to be met with certain punishment. There are going to be consequences. I am not making an example of you. I'm sentencing you for the conduct you did. Great answer.
Yeah.
He's the 65th person to be sentenced out of more than 700 who have been charged. All in all, there was about $1.5 million of damage done to the Capitol. So there you go. If you were one of them 700, watch out. They're not letting up. Good. You shouldn't behave like that. No. Moving on. News. Well, I have one. It's not really an update. I'll just say it's a tiny update. because I'm keeping live time track. Now, by the time this podcast comes on a week from now, I don't know. But as of today, the Elizabeth Holmes jury has put in 14 hours, and then they have today off. I don't really understand why. I think somebody had an appointment and they were rearranging schedules and they let that person. And I'm like, you know what? I need a verdict. I don't care about your dentist appointment. Guess what, Mary Sue? Your tooth can wait till you've decided. And then I think they're coming back on Thursday, which is the day before Christmas Eve. And then do they get Christmas Eve off? It's a Friday. I don't know. But that's my tiny update. Yeah, because I don't really have one. I just have that information. Baby update. This story.
Your happy, by the way, just makes me happy.
This story. These are the kind of things I'll call my brother at work and go, dude, you're not gonna believe this. And then I'll say it, and then he'll go, you're not gonna believe this, Kathleen, but I have a job. And he hangs up on me. This is why one of the reasons I started this podcast, because not my siblings. And I don't know, other comedians like to talk, but they're not always available. And sometimes Lewis doesn't feel like hearing it. And Ron only picks up every other time. So what are you going to do? Group of monkeys kills over 250 dogs for revenge in Indian town. What? And I said to Patrick, did you know monkeys are capable of revenge? He's like, God damn it, I have 14 appointments today, Kathleen. Save it for Christmas. So I'm going to get into it. I did not know. And I told you there's that one movie Lewis made me watch about the helper monkey that goes bad with the paraplegic, quadriplegic, actually. Monkey shines.
That's horrifying.
It's horrifying. Because I remember Lou and I were somewhere on the road, and he goes, oh, that's my friend so-and-so. And I go, who? And he goes, the guy in the wheelchair, the actor. That he knew him from somewhere. And I said, oh, that's awesome. I'd have never known, at that time, I had never known anyone in any show ever on television. And I go, that's really cool. I go, well, let's watch it then. He goes, you don't want to watch this movie. It's very disturbing. Lou had already seen it. And I go, yeah, I do. And then you could see he was the helper monkey of a quadriplegic, but he went bad and he started shooting his own drugs, the monkey, and he started getting really angry and he didn't like the guy anymore. And yeah, I'm telling you, if you got nothing to do over the holiday season, find Monkey Shines. It's very 70s, but it holds up. It held up. Anyway. A group of monkeys in a small town in India took, quote, revenge on the local dog population this month by throwing them up off the top of tall buildings and trees. They stole dogs and marched them to the top of buildings and threw them off. Murdered them. Here's why. It's reported that the monkeys have killed about 250 pups in the process and are now targeting villagers. They'll take your baby. They'll take all your babies. The monkeys located in, there's no way I'm going to say this right, Madigan, India, started the rampage after the dogs allegedly killed an infant monkey. So a pack of dogs killed a baby monkey. Right. They must have saw it or heard it or deducted that, and it was game on. News 18 reported that when the monkeys see a dog approach, they catch them and throw them from a significant height to the ground. In the neighboring village of Lavul, the monkeys have fully eradicated all dogs. They've killed them all.
Oh my God. What are people
doing? And Americans, like you see the Americans that go to like Bali or wherever, and they're like, oh, look at all the monkeys out there. And they are adorable. You think that, but well, all you got to do is see monkey shines. I know now. But I wouldn't have known if I hadn't seen that movie. I would have thought they were fun, and you'd try to feed them popcorn or something. I don't know. Popcorn. Well, whatever you got in your purse. Pretzels. Mm-hmm. Wow. All of the dogs. After all of the dogs were killed in the village, residents contacted forest department officials to catch the monkeys. But when officials attempted to catch the monkeys, they were unable to capture a single monkey. Villagers believe that the monkeys are taking revenge on dogs. Now, villagers in Lavul are being chased by the monkeys, and some have been attacked. According to Stephanie Poindexter, an assistant professor at SUNY Buffalo, whose research focuses primarily on primate ecology, the studies have shown that animals, primarily monkeys, can practice revenge. Wow. That's too smart for an animal. Yeah. Now you're a person. Yeah. And now I got to deal with you like you're a person. Like I don't think of you as just a monkey. That's funny. You're not a funny monkey. You're a dangerous monkey. We've said that when an individual is attacked some way, the likelihood of them attacking someone related to their aggressor is higher. Typically, there's a preference for attacking a third party associated with the original aggressor as opposed to the actual aggressor. For the most part, these acts of revenge take place shortly after the attack. Poindexter also explained that groups of hyenas have been known to seek revenge. After the forest department was unable to catch the monkeys, villagers began attempting to rescue dogs on their own, but some of them have found themselves subject to the monkeys' retaliation. And some have even injured themselves or fallen from buildings. Villagers now reported there's barely any dogs left in the area, and that the monkeys have not stopped even after a month of attacks.
Oh my God.
Do people not have guns there?
This is not a holiday.
Do you have guns in India? How about what? I can't think of that.
What was that?
A slingshot. I mean, come on. Now villagers reported that the monkeys are targeting small children, which has created a panic within the village. Now they're coming after the babies. In Malaysia, a wild monkey captured a puppy and held it hostage at the top of a tree for 3 days. According to locals in the area, the puppy was about 2 weeks old when the macaw kidnapped it. Macaws are notoriously for being extremely intelligent, but also sneaky. Some locals have seen the monkeys raiding their pantries, snatching clothing, and going through fridges. Due to the... Wow. Just to watch it go through a refrigerator, look at shit and throw it down. Miracle Whip, bad. Come on, lady, spend a buck or two. Good. It's good to me, but some locals, due to the number of complaints, Malaysia's Department of Wildlife began culling thousands of monkeys, but many believe the monkey was not trying to hurt the puppy, but rather care for it as its own. It looked like it was treating the puppy as a friend or a baby. It was very strange. Well, that's all we need to know. Yeah. It's acting bizarre. Footage of the incident showed the pup attempting to get out of the monkey's grip, but it was unsuccessful. Eventually, residents were able to scare the monkey into dropping the puppy into greenery below. Well, everybody should know.
Guard your puppy.
That monkeys... I'm going to Google what other animals do revenge, because I don't think I'm ever going to be in a pack of hyenas, so I don't think I have to worry about that.
That's horrifying.
Yeah. This is kind of cool. This is news. I have to turn on my phone for this one, though, because it's tiny type. Hold on. Excuse me while I turn my flashlight on. It's never annoying to anyone else in a restaurant. Ready? See, it's so bright. Oh. Yeah. I love it. This is going to be cool. Or it could be a bust. Could be like a Geraldo thing. Richmond, Virginia. Okay. Here's what a lot of people don't know. I really like Richmond, Virginia. I think it's beautiful. And I've gone to some really fun music clubs there after shows with my friend Vic Henley, who passed away. He always knew where music was, and I would just follow him. They have a street, I don't remember what street, and there's all these Confederate, like Robert E. Lee and all these people. But then at the end of the statues, you go boom, 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 Arthur Ashe. What? I'm like, even if he's from Virginia, did his family know where the placement was going to be? Like, here's a bunch of people that fought to keep slavery, and then we're going to put Arthur, in that line. Like, maybe he could go somewhere better. I don't know. Anyway, I've seen this street. It's a beautiful street and all these statues. I didn't, honestly, I never even walked up and looked at who they were, except for Arthur Ashe, because I'm like, who's the guy with the tennis racket?
Right.
Like everybody else has, they're on horses, and it's clearly Civil War. Even, I don't know.
Muskets.
Yeah. Crews working to remove the pedestal where a statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee towered over Richmond for more than a century believe they found a time capsule. No. Yes, it was buried there in 1887. The massive bronze equestrian statue of Lee, erected in 1890, was taken down in September, more than a year after Governor Ralph Northam ordered its removal over protests over racism. Police brutality erupted across the country following the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. The day after the statue was removed, work crews spent more than 12 hours searching for the time capsule in the 40-foot tall pedestal, but were unable to locate it. Until on Friday, hold please. Okay. On Friday, Northam announced that the crews found the top of a square box embedded in a 2,000 pound granite block. Now,
Why were they in there?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying to the town folk in 1887.
Yeah.
Why would you go through all this bullshit to build a time capsule no one's ever going to find? It's ridiculous.
They're revengeful.
They're revengeful monkeys. Maybe they were mad. It was located about 20 feet off the ground in the main section of the pedestal, not in its base. Workers who searched for it in September believed it was tucked inside or the cornerstone of the pedestal. It looks like it's a time capsule. We're hoping it hasn't been damaged by water over the last 100 years plus. Because it's very cool what might be in it. By Friday afternoon, they had lowered a large piece of granite containing the box to the ground, or planning to bring it to the State Department to be opened sometime next week. The box was still encased in granite and needs to be dislodged and x-rayed before officials can be certain it is a time capsule. Records of the Library of Virginia suggested that 37 Richmond residents, organizations, and businesses contributed about 60 objects to the capsule, many which are believed to be related to the Confederacy. The Lee statue, which became a symbol of race and injustice, we don't care about all that. They think, though, there might be a picture of Abraham Lincoln in his casket in there.
No way.
Yeah. So I will keep you updated on what we find in there, but I think it's super cool. I do not understand, because if it wasn't for the George Floyd thing and Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, that statue may never have come down.
True.
So then we just never find it?
Right.
Just saying, Richmond, you got some dumb monkeys there. Okay? So that is the city I would move to. When people say, like, what are the up-and-coming cities?
Richmond, Virginia.
Love it. Wow. Yep. The downtown, too. I'd go straight downtown. Wow. Mm-hmm. It reminds you of Savannah, like, just big trees and brick homes and, it's just not, I don't know, maybe I'm just a visitor, maybe I'm wrong, but I like it when I'm there, and I like the vibe of the music there. So there you go. Here's another thing. This is crazy, too. This is the kind of shit. Nobody cares if I call and go, did you see that thing? They don't care. I care.
The termites care.
The termites care.
The termites care.
That's right.
Yeah, holiday termites.
A lot of holiday termites, too, wore their shirts to Aspen. That's pretty flattering. Yeah, that's nice. I see you guys out there.
Do you like to see them?
I do like to see them. Yeah. Yeah, because then I don't know how many people are there just because they know it's a stand-up, or maybe it's new people because Termite Nation.
It's like a tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Termite tribe.
A man bought a sketch at an estate sale for $30, and it may be, the man's name is Durer, D-U-R-E-R, drawing worth $50 million.
What? Wow.
Now, I had to Google who Durer is. Durer, Albrecht Dürer, is a German. He was born in 1471, died in 1528. So how old was that? So 30, 40, 50?
A while ago.
Yeah, but that's a pretty big age to live back then. He was a German painter, printmaker, and theorist of German Renaissance. Born in Nuremberg, he established his reputation and influence across Europe in his 20s due to his high-quality woodcut prints. Okay. Here were his buddies. At the time, he was in contact with the major Italian artists of his time, including Raphael, Giovanni Bellini, and Leonardo da Vinci. Nice. Oh, in 1512, he was patronized by Emperor Maximilian I. Go for you, as Rocky Laporte would say. Go for you. So first I Googled, who is this guy? Before I thought, well, in 2016, a sharp-eyed shopper at a Massachusetts estate sale bought a drawing on a whim. The square, unframed yellow linen featured an elegant sketch of a mother and a child, a modest $30 price tag. The man, who's choosing to remain anonymous, bought the work and stowed it in his home, though the sketch bore one more art world's most known monograms, Albrecht Dürer's A.D. So he'd put his initials on there, but it also could mean A.D. And he's that old. Neither the buyer nor the sellers believed it was a genuine work by the German Renaissance artist. As the unknown man tells so-and-so, he simply thought it was a wonderful piece of old art. Now, after carefully studying it, multiple scholars say that the delicate ink sketch is an authentic Dürer drawing that can be worth upward of $50 million. It's also an art history rarity. The sketch, likely a preparatory work for a circa 1506 painting, is the first, quote, totally known drawing by the artist to resurface since the 1970s. Oh, my God. I think this guy goes to an estate sale. My mom went to garage sales, and you know what she would come home with frequently? Old men's golf bags. And I'm like, Mom, that is a piece of shit. Why are you just buying shit? She goes, because a lot of the widows don't think to look in the golf bag, and there's always money in them. Oh, look at Veggie Madigan. It's sneaky. And more importantly, there was alcohol. There was always little bottles because he's out sneaking a little drinky. Wife doesn't know about it. She was right, though. Sometimes we'd find jackets. It was fun as a kid. That's cool. Yeah, she'd buy it for $10, and then we could hope that there'd be like 50 in there. Yeah. So anyway, they're gonna figure it out. If this is, they all say it's real. It's gonna go to a museum, and then it's gonna be sold, and then I guess that guy gets the money.
That's great.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be sold to this private collecting thing. Is ridiculous of the world's greatest art.
You've taught us it's money laundering.
I know it's money laundering, but I just don't think there has to be some, I don't know, somebody with a soul out there that says no. Okay. No. Okay. This one will freak everybody out. Every woman, anyway, including myself. Baby discovered inside a woman's liver.
Wait, what?
Yep.
What?
Not kidding. Exceptionally rare ectopic pregnancy. I'm probably saying that wrong.
I hope so.
I hope it's rare. Well, if I did have a baby, I'd have to name it James for Jameson. If it's in my liver, it's Jameson. It would come out as a tiny airline bottle. Hi. And we'd be able to talk. Hi, my name's Jameson.
Oh my God, it's creepy.
It's totally creepy. I didn't know this was possible. Pediatrician Michael Narvey of Children's Hospital Research Institute of Manitoba in Canada revealed the jaw-dropping details of the case. This is not bullshit. He wrote online, I thought I'd seen it all. A 33-year-old woman comes in with a 14-day history of menstrual bleeding and 49 days since her last menstrual period. When they find what they find in the liver is this, a baby. She had an ectopic pregnancy in her liver. We see these sometimes in the abdomen, but never in the liver. This is a first for me. The doctor posted a clip explaining his discovery on TikTok. The footage has been viewed over 3 million times in 2 days and attracted 17,000 comments. 17,000? Yeah. Surgeons were able to save the woman's life, but not that of the growing fetus. Sad times. Yeah, one user said this must have been devastating news for the pair. I hope mom is well. Sorry for your loss. You know, I can't even believe this happened. Blah, blah, blah. They said they're exceptionally aware. In the states that in the 35 years before November 1999, there have been only 14 recorded cases. 14 other women had babies in their liver. What? Details of another case were published in the Journal of Emergencies, Trauma, and Shock in 2012, which described a young woman to have found a live 18-week fetus attached to her liver. I don't know how we'd work. I'm not a doctor. I'll call my friend Nancy. She's a doctor. She can explain it. We'll have her on as a guest. The 25-year-old woman sadly died from complications due to surgery due to uncontrolled bleeding. These kind of pregnancies occur when a fertilized egg implants outside the womb, often in the fallopian tubes, and there are around 12,000 cases a year. It also happens in the ovaries, the cervix, neck to the womb, or other organs inside the pelvis. In September this year, amazing photos showed a baby being born still in an amniotic sac in an extremely rare delivery. I don't know.
That's gross.
Yeah. Well, it just makes me laugh. If the doctor ever says there's something wrong with my liver, I'm going to say check for a baby.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow. I got an idea.
Ma'am, at your age, it's probably not a baby. Well, it probably shouldn't be in my liver either. Huh? How about that? Oh my God. Oh my God, that's a good one. Well, we've done enough crazy things. I'm just going to throw this one out there. Okay. The Villages, where I performed, had a great show. Everybody was great, even the staff, the quote, young villagers. I had a wonderful time, and I would love to be invited back. But three of the residents at the Very dirty birds. And this isn't their sex problems. They have a lot of sex issues down there, STDs. There's a lot of things going on in the villages. But this one, 3 residents of the villages have been arrested after casting multiple votes in the 2020 election. Come on. Yep. And they're all registered Republicans. And one guy had a bunch of Trumposaurus stuff all over his Facebook page. So I'm going to say they're probably not Biden people.
They're
This is...
people.
Yeah, they're Brandon. They're not Biden. 3, they were arrested and faced charges of casting more than one vote during the 2020 election. Joan Halstead, Jay Ketchik, and John Wright all faced felony charges. Here's the irony. If they do get convicted of a felony charge, you can't vote. 'Cause you're a felon. So you're going to end up not voting by a crime of voting twice. Sneaky, dirty birds. Yeah, it's unclear which candidate the 3 voted for, although they're registered Republicans and the details.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Well, one guy, Ryder, has no political affiliation. However, posts in support of former President Trump can be found on his Facebook pages, according to... They were casting absentee ballots, like one guy did it in Michigan and then voted for real in Florida. That's how they're double voting. Yeah, because I was like, is everybody just old and you're all crazy, just walking in, voting again? Because that could happen. And then he also had a residence in Connecticut. He turned himself in. He was released on $2,000 bonds and is currently driving his golf cart drunk in the villages. Nah, I made that up.
Boom.
One guy voted in person in Florida and then cast an absentee ballot in New York. He was arrested. He was also released at $2,000 bond. Prosecutors declined to say if any of the villagers knew one another. Well, I think you could swing down to the town square in the villages and start throwing those names around and find out real easily if you were a reporter who wanted to find out.
Start dancing.
We'll see, because I believe there was a black woman in Texas that was somehow accused of all that, was facing 5 years in prison of voting when she shouldn't have been voting. I don't remember why, the details, but we'll see what the sentences are. I'll compare them in an update. Allegedly. Send the monkeys after them. This is a brief... Yeah. This is a brief... Really? Couldn't kind of believe this one. I totally believe in Bigfoot. I think everybody knows that. As I believe in Bigfoot more than... Well, I don't know. I do believe in the Loch Ness Monster, too. But anyway. There's a guy who had a Bigfoot sighting in Illinois. Here's what's weird to me, and I've been all over Illinois a million times. It doesn't seem like Bigfoot territory. Yeah. There's not, like Southern Illinois, because I even went to college there, Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. It's very flat, and it's a lot of farms. I barely even see deer. Like, I just don't know where he would hide. But anywhere where he's at, I haven't spent a lot of time. So anyway. What in Illinois... Okay, you've probably seen the famous footage of Bigfoot, the grainy films in 1967 showing an ape-like creature ambling through the California, casting a brief leisurely glance at the camera before disappearing off screen. What an Illinois man saw last month was rather different. The creature he spotted outside of the small town of Chandlerville, northwest of Springfield. And what do we know about Springfield, Illinois? That's where the train in St. Louis for the Girl Scouts took me to Abraham Lincoln's home.
Part 1.
Part 1. What did Kathleen do? Kathleen ran in the gift shop and spent all, whatever, 10, 15 bucks I'd been given on Abraham Lincoln pencils. And colored pencils. And then I am a total dork. And then, I don't know. I got something for my mom and dad. Anyway.
Here's a gift from the gift shop.
Yeah, here's a little something from the gift shop, Jackaroony. Huh? Who loves Abe Lincoln? Everybody loves Abe Lincoln, right? You get a pencil, and you get a pencil. Anyway, that's really what I know about Springfield. And there used to be a comedy club there. It just did it on weekends, a little weekend gig. Anyway, this guy said, northwest of Springfield, that the thing he saw was fast, athletic, and massive, covering 2-lane road with 2 quick strides. So the thing made it across a 2-lane road with 1, 2. He's out. It had incredibly long limbs. It was covered in silky black hair, the man said, and was gone before he could almost register what was happening. It jumped into the darkness, and I was kind of freaked out about it, said the 59-year-old engineer who lives near Peoria. I said to myself out loud, holy shit, it's a Bigfoot. In a year when UFO have gained newfound respect, becoming the subject of Pentagon and the alleged Bigfoot sighting is a reminder other paraphenomenal for an minute, and then we know the thing about the guy in Oklahoma who wants to have a Bigfoot season, which I don't know. I guess I'm not against it. That's the kind of thing. If I was a politician, I'm like, I don't know, we shouldn't kill the Bigfoot. And then if somebody went, Kathleen, I'll take you to happy hour later and buy. Fine, shoot it. Because it's just ridiculous. We're even, why don't we have a hunt for the Easter Bunny? It's at this point, it's that ludicrous that, yes, I believe in it, both. Easter Bunny too. Yeah, he said it crossed 40 yards from his vehicle. It turned toward him before it vanished. He couldn't make out its eyes or its face. He said he is not a Bigfoot enthusiast. I love the word enthusiast about anything. Like, am I enthusiastic about Bigfoot? It's just such a terrible word, enthusiast. Like, enthusiastic, like I'm enthusiastic, I don't know, about plans with friends or something, but am I enthusiastic? No, I'm interested. Well, I get excited when there's stories, but, I hope we find one before I'm dead.
Your hat says you're enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'm enthusiastic about a blinking Christmas hat. The man said he's not a Bigfoot enthusiast, and he was sober as a judge when he made his sighting. He acknowledged, though, that when friends and him went back to look for tracks, they found nothing. Somebody, though, from the Bigfoot Field Research Organization, he graded the man's sighting as a Class A, very reliable. Why? Because of his closeness to the encounter and the lack of red flags about the man's credibility helped to convince him. Mm-hmm. So that's it, Springfield, Illinois. You think so? See, I picture him in the Northwest more. And then in Florida, we have the skunk ape, which is basically, a Bigfoot, but it's a swampy one. This made me laugh though. About the possibility of it being a prankster, the guy that's in charge of the Bigfoot sighting things, he goes, this is the guy from Illinois. If someone thinks of coming down to Central Illinois to put on a hoax on people, it's something I wouldn't recommend. There's just way too many hunters. There's too many people with guns. In other words, you're going to get your ass shot off for a joke, right. Especially in November, December, deer season, whatever season. Turkey wins turkey season. I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to save these. More. Because this one's going to take a while. And it's worth every minute of it. No, it's not very Christmassy because it involves the devil. But... But
it's very New Year's Eve then.
But the last story will be a Christmas gift to where? Barbados. Okay.
We already talked about that.
Did I already talk about Barbados?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll have to think of a different ending. No, maybe I'll end on the devil. Make you love Jesus a little bit more.
I love Jesus.
This is going to reinforce your Christmas. You better hope there's Jesus. You better hope there's God, because there's definitely a devil. And I have personal knowledge on this subject.
How do you know this? You don't know.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. First of all, most people do not know, and I know because I'm originally from St. Louis, and my mom worked at a hospital 100 years ago called Alexian Brothers Hospital. And my dad went to St. Louis University for college and law school. Nobody really seems to know that the movie The Exorcist, it was a girl in the movie, but in real life it was a boy. And he was from the East Coast, and he was sent to St. Louis to be exorcised. Let's put it that way. And I don't mean run around the yard.
No.
I mean, and my mom told me all these stories about how they had to close that wing of the hospital off after the boy was there because all the crazy shit that would happen, and everybody was too scared to go down there anymore, so they just shut it. And then my dad said the priests that were involved, one of them at least, they all knew he was part of the Exorcist. But this is before the movie had even been made. So, because my parents, this is not done yet. The movie didn't come out till the 70s. They were in school, but everybody in St. Louis heard about it. And I said to my dad, "Did you guys ever ask him? Like, come on, man, was that for reals?" And he said, "Yeah." He wouldn't give us details, but he said, "What you're hearing happened."
Wow.
Okay, so here's the man's name. And I used to say to my parents, "Well, where'd the guy go?" And my dad would say that he went back to the East Coast and lived his life. I'm like, that is a terrible piece of, you have no information. You have nothing. Nothing. You're my Google. I don't have there's no computers back then. You're my Google, Dad. Come on, man. Get some more information. What happened to Ronald Hunkler, who inspired The Exorcist? He ended up working for NASA. He helped make space shuttle panels resistant to extreme heat, helping the Apollo missions of the 60s to put the U.S. astronauts on the moon in 1969. Okay? But Hunkler had another claim to fame. He was also the secret real-life inspiration for the demon-possessed kid in The Exorcist. His identity had been kept under wraps since a series of exorcisms he underwent as a teenager in Cottage City, Maryland, and St. Louis, Missouri in 1949. For decades, he was known only by the pseudonym of Ronald Doe or Robbie Mannheim. Interesting. Uh-huh. Yeah. That's Robbie Mannheim? Yeah. That was kind of weird. His identity has been something of an open secret among the community of Jesuits who were close to the priest who participated in the exorcisms and a handful of academics and reporters who studied the phenomenon beginning in the mid-1970s. By the way, that hospital no longer exists in St. Louis. That's a little update. But he lived in fear of people telling the truth. According to a 29-year-old companion of Hunkler, he was always on edge about his colleagues at NASA, Goddard Space Flight Center, finding out he was the inspiration for The Exorcist. He retired in NASA in 2001 after nearly 40 years with the space agency. On Halloween, he always left his house because he figured someone would come to his residence and know where he lived and never let him have peace. The woman, this is his friend, who told the Post he had a terrible life from worry. But Hunkler was recently revealed in an article in the Skeptical Inquirer, the magazine for space, for science and reason, a bi-monthly journal based in upstate New York that applies a scientific rigor to explain extraordinary events, especially in the paranormal. Investigator and podcast host J.D. Sword writes that he confirmed, so I don't even know what this podcast is, but now I want to listen to this. It's called The Devil is in the Details. That he confirmed Hunkler's death last month when he started researching his story on The Exorcist for his podcast, The Devil's in the Details. The Exorcist, both the movie and the 1971 novel is based on, was written by William Peter Blatty, I don't know, who first heard about the demonic possession of a 14-year-old boy around 1949 while he was a senior at Georgetown University. Because there's that scene where the priest goes, boom. Yes. Yeah, in Georgetown. Hunkler was born in 1935. He grew up in a middle-class family in Cottage City, Maryland. He was 14 when he heard knocking and scratches sounds coming from his bedroom walls. Objects seemingly flew across the room, and his bed somehow moved on its own. What Sword, who is a member of the Church of Satan, calls classic poltergeist phenomenon. Who would say they're a member of the Church of Satan? He's a loser. Yeah. There's a fight. He lost. In March 1949, the family minister, the Reverend Luther Schultz, wrote to Duke's University parapsychology lab about what was going on with the boy, detailing how chairs moved with him. One threw him out of his bed. His bed shook whenever he was in it. The Reverend also cited some family stories of tables overturning, their floors are being scarred from the heavily sliding of heavy furniture, and in one, how a picture of Christ shook on the wall when he was nearby. The boy's mother feared it was related to their recently deceased Aunt Tilly, a spiritualist who had taught the boy how to use an Ouija board to communicate with the spirit world. Yeah. Now, here's another little thing. Somebody I knew in grade school, I don't know how, my mom and dad would not allow an Ouija board in the house. And I didn't really fully know that, but I kind of thought it. So I just had somebody bring one over for a slumber party because I knew. And you know what's crazy is we would always do is try to bring back Abraham Lincoln because we just knew we'd know the hat. We couldn't even think of anyone else. No, we're like, blah, 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 blah. But then after I saw the movie The Exorcist, I was like, oh no, I have one of them. I wasn't supposed to see The Exorcist either. My parents left and they said, do not watch that movie. And I watched it and then I was like, God, they were right. I should have never watched this. Now I'm just going to think of the devil. And then I'm going to wait for my bed to start. I have to get rid of the Ouija board. And they're going to, so we lived on top of a hill, a big hill, like a mini mountain. And I took the Ouija board one night when it had snowed and there was ice crusted all over the snow. And I winged it And it went all the way down. I watched it go down like a torpedo all the way down to the bottom of the road. And then literally like a week later, my dad comes up for work. He goes, the strangest thing, I was pulling up the hill, and I think I saw a Ouija board. I'm like, yeah, weird. He didn't seem hell-bent on finding out who did it. So I was like, great, I don't have to lie. So anyway, he had an aunt. This boy had an aunt, Matilda Hendricks, who's from St. Louis. Sure, blame it on the lady from St. Louis, just like the Taylor Swift song. Totally. She had a marvelous time ruining everything. Yeah, I know that song. I do love that song. I don't know why a movie hasn't been made about that lady, because apparently it's true. After the boy underwent a series of medical and psychological tests which failed to find anything abnormal, his family sought out religious leaders, including a Protestant pastor. Well, if you need an exorcism, don't go to the Protestants first.
They don't know what they're doing.
No, you just go straight to the top, and that would be us, the Catholics. The family was Lutheran, and they went through all the stages you see in the film. They went to doctors' clinics and finally back to their own pastor in the Lutheran church, and then he recommended they see a priest. Even the Lutherans are like, yeah, this really ain't our gig. We're going to pass it on. Let me holler at a priest, see if he's got time. So that was all true. Okay. William Bowden. Nope. Bowdern. I know. Bowden. That was the one. A small group of Jesuits who helped the boy, conducting more than 20 exorcisms over the teen in 3 months in a case study by Jesuit priest, which was intended as a guide for future exorcisms. Bowdern described the demonic possession of a boy from Washington suburbs identified only as R. While 14 witnesses watched, he wrote in his diary that in 1949 the boy appeared in a trance as his mattress shook and there was a scratching which beat out the rhythm as of marching soldiers. Second-class relic of St. Margaret Mary was thrown to the floor. A safety pin was open, but no human hand had touched it. R started up in a fright when the relic was thrown down. Oh, he didn't like that. It was decided that he should be taken to St. Louis, where coincidentally his Aunt Tilly lived, to be treated for demonic possession. It seems whatever force was writing the words was in favor of him making the trip to St. Louis. The devil wanted him to go. Yeah. One evening, the word Louis was written on the boy's ribs in deep red scratches. Next, there was some question about the time of departure, and the devil wrote Saturday.
What?
Yep, on the boy's hip.
I love that it's Louis.
Uh-huh. As to the time of the boy and she was to stay in St. Louis, another message was printed on the boy's chest. 3.5 weeks. The printing always appeared without any motion on the part of the boy's hands. The mother was keeping him under close supervision. On March 21st, 1949, he entered Alexian Brothers Hospital in St. Louis, where his violent convulsions broke a priest's nose. Yeah. Wow. I'm telling you, they closed the wing of the hospital. It was so freaky.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah. I said to my mom, didn't you ever just want to go down there? No! I had enough problems. I don't need a devil. Okay. All right. Sorry. By mid-April, he claimed to be free of the devil after having visions of St. Michael holding a flaming sword. It's perhaps one of the most remarkable experiences in kind of religious history. A 14-year-old boy has been freed by a Catholic priest of possession by the devil. Catholic sources reported yesterday, this is in 1949, it was in the Washington Post. The story was read by writer Blatty while he was a student at Georgetown, and he goes on to document how the boy broke into a violent tantrum of screaming, cursing, and voicing Latin phrases, a language he did not know, when the Jesuit ordered that the devil be cast out of his body. Although other investigations have known for years that he was the real-life inspiration for the exorcist, they did not reveal his identity while he was still alive. His female companion confirmed to the Post that he died last year, a month shy of his 86th birthday. He suffered a stroke at his home in Maryland, a suburb north of Baltimore. He was cremated. The book sold, we know all that. Universal Studios announced that it's planning, we've already talked about that, a rebooted trilogy of the film with Ellen Burstyn. I mean, how old is Ellen? I love her, but that's great. If she's still going strong, good for you. But the man who inspired The Exorcist, the boy, had a very sad end to his life. His 3 children, two daughters and a son, had been long estranged from their father and did not attend the funeral. Yep. When they reached out to speak to him, the author of the book. He was the first to, Osmic was the first to question the supernatural occurrences around Hunkler and concluded that he was probably just a spoiled kid vying for attention. Well, I don't know about that either. Because there's a lot of priests back in the day that if you're just full of shit, they're not going to be bothered. No, they're not going to, or they're going to tell you, take him to a shrink, or maybe there's a neurological problem, right. Or they don't just do it every Saturday. Let's put it that way. Right. So they ended up interviewing the guy, and this reporter explained the dynamics of Hunkler's family. Okay. The father tended to spoil Hunkler, and the mother was stricter. She was also, according to an interview, very superstitious. The minister admitted he initially wondered if Hunkler may have manipulated her beliefs, turning her to trickery to get her to take him out of school for a while. According to Hunkler's companion, the man himself never believed he was the victim of satanic possession, and he shunned religion. He said he wasn't possessed. It was all concocted. He said, I was just a bad boy. Oh, God. That. Oh. Still, there was one last thing she couldn't explain. Shortly before Hunkler died, a Catholic priest appeared at his home to perform last rites, adding she did not call that priest. Oh, God. Oh! I have no idea how the father knew to come, but he got Ron to heaven, I'm sure of it. Ron's in heaven and he's with God now.
Okay. I mean, you can't end on that. It's the holidays. You can't end on that. No.
That's your holiday story. Be happy Christ was born, because otherwise we got to put up with this shit day in and day out. Furniture's flying around. The devil's angry. He doesn't rest very often, clearly.
What else is flying around? What did you see at the grocery store?
I saw a bag of those pretzel chip things fly on its own. All right. Well, this is, I'll end on this then.
Did you buy the pretzels?
No, I didn't even want those. I was not even going down that aisle. I don't even know why. I don't know. I stopped with my cart, and I was like, I wonder what's down that aisle. And then they just went, pew. Wow. Yeah. Okay. And I thought, never took this grocery store. I mean, the lighting's weird in there, but I never thought it was haunted. Okay, so in the spirit of Christmas, The Exorcist was a Christmas story.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You should be super happy Jesus Christ was born.
It's a Halloween story.
No, it's much more serious than Halloween. It's the goddamn devil. Devil. Let's say in the new year, you're thinking about moving. A lot of people are sick of where they live. I keep finding that out on the road. And they're thinking of where, and I've been everywhere pretty much. So I would say, well, here's what I would think about that. But to each his own. Here's my information. Here's America's new boom towns revealed. 6 cities in the Northwest are among the top 10 fastest growing based on population and economic growth. Yep. So I'm going to tell you where you might want to think about going, but I'm going to tell you my opinion. And I've been to most. This is where smaller cities have thrived during the pandemic. Yeah, we all know that. Of the top 10, we know that's 6 are in the Pacific Northwest, including towns in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho, which may be benefiting from the record net out-migration from California. Yep. Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which I have been to a zillion times. It's a city about 157,000 and 35 miles outside of Nashville, was top-ranking boom town in the study thanks for its strong growth and low unemployment rate. But it's more of a family atmosphere. Okay. Just, FYI. These are the top 10 where people are going. Okay. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Fine. You're close enough to Nashville. Yeah. Great city. And it's affordable. Yeah, I'd vote yeah. But it is if you're single or young or if you don't have kids, I don't know. Might pick someone else. Nashville. Number 2, yeah, just go to actual Nashville. Number 2, Nampa, Idaho. Never heard of it.
Nampa. Isn't the university there?
I have no idea. Yeah. Number 3, Meridian, Idaho. Don't know it.
Why is everybody going to Idaho?
A lot of the California people are running over to Idaho because it's beautiful. I mean, it's fine. I like Idaho.
Nampa is 20 miles west of Boise.
It's 20 miles west of Boise?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They
Well,
welcome everyone. They say.
Boise's nice, and you can snow ski, and it still gets warm in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Meridian, Idaho.
Okay.
Number 4, Conroe, Texas.
Okay.
Don't know that. Number 5, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Be prepared, though, people. If you're a Californian or something, you go to South Carolina, you're gonna die. You're gonna die in the heat. You're not even gonna know what the fuck happened by June 1st. You're gonna be like, does this happen every day? Yeah, I mean, I love heat and I love humidity, but even South Carolina can take me out in an afternoon.
Yeah, it's bad.
Number 6, Bend, Oregon. I like Oregon and Washington, but it would never feel like home to me because the Pacific Northwest just looks so different.
Yeah.
Like if home is Missouri, Tennessee looks like Missouri, Ohio looks like there. It's so different. I just feel like I've gone to a different land, which is fun. But I don't know if I lived there, I would just feel like I didn't belong there.
Bend, Oregon, though. That's where the golf courses are.
Bend, Oregon is where I still want to go play it, and now I can't think of the name of it. Me and Lou's have tried to go. We've tried to go like 3 times, and
It looks like Ireland.
It does look like Ireland. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
How can I not remember the name of this golf course? It's super duper famous, and I like it better than like a Pebble Beach because the weather is wilder and the ocean is wild and it's just wild. Come on, Bend, Oregon, battles. Bend, Oregon. I'm going to do this faster.
No, it says,
What?
It says
What?
No.
No, this is important for the golf people. Famous golf course in Bend, Oregon. Oh, maybe it's not in?
See, it is in Bend, but the whole thing. Hang on.
Pacific Bandon Dunes.
Bandon Dunes.
It's in Bandon, not Bend. That's where we're wrong. Bend, Oregon has a place called Pronghorn Club. I don't know what that is.
Well, that's what kept coming up. I went,
All right. Well, we're terrible at this.
It's only $62.
So it's only $62. Well, then, yeah, it's certainly no Bandon Dunes.
Nope.
All right. Number 7, Tempe, Arizona. I can't do it. I can't do the heat. I'm too white. The misters just get me drunker, and I blame it on the misters, and then I'm still hot, and I'm like having a heat stroke, but I've had 3 beers, and nothing. You got to be a special kind of person to be able to handle the desert. Yeah. True. Vancouver, Washington, love it. Yep. Bellingham, Washington, love it. Gorgeous. Seattle, it's too expensive. Yeah. It's so expensive. One of my sisters lived there for a couple years out of school. It's ridiculous. Like, I love working there. There's a theater called the Moore Theater downtown. It is fantastic. And Kel's Pub in the alley in Printers Alley. Is it Print? No, that's in Nashville, Printers Alley. It's the other alley. I don't know. I'm in a lot of alleys.
You'll be there in April.
Okay. I'm in a lot of alleys.
You're going to be there in April.
There's a good Kel's Irish Pub. I'm going to be there in April. I'm going back to Seattle. I always go back to Seattle.
Portland, too.
But it's just expensive.
Yeah, it's really expensive.
I don't consider it a small town. No. Seattle's a city, a big city, very big city. So I don't know why that fits in with all these, but that's just a little travel tip. I kind of led you wrong on the Oregon thing. Don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna you go Google them. Okay, yeah. Termites. Did any of those sound appealing? Out of those, I don't know. My top would be
Post Alley.
Post Alley, yeah. Right? Printers Alley's in Nashville.
Yeah. What
Mick Jagger was just down there taking pictures of bachelorette parties. How funny is that, right?
Oh my God, you look really cool.
Texas can get really hot. I'd go to Vancouver or Bellingham.
Murfreesboro.
Well, Murfreesboro, yeah, great. And I can handle the heat in South Carolina. I like it. Mm-hmm. I'd go there. But I don't know nothing about Bend, Oregon. I'd skip the desert. I can't do the desert. I know people love it, and I know people say it's beautiful. And I say maybe when they finish it. There you go. All right, termites. I hope... New Year's? Yeah. Nothing. I'm so excited to not do nothing. I did 15 months worth of shows in 6 months. Yep. It's fucking But it's done. Now we can resume to normal, and then I have to.
You had fun?
I have to fly out to the City of Angels, darling, to do Kelly Clarkson's program. I mean, assuming that's all still happening, I don't know. So I get basically 1 week off, and I'm going to stay home and do absolutely nothing. I need to be away from people for a little bit. The airport trip home from Aspen. It's that Sunday when it's super crowded anyway, and it just, I don't know, you just couldn't get away from anybody. There were so many people everywhere, and most people, there's a lot of children, and most people were very nice, and I usually have the same emotional range as those children where I just want to go, I get it, Nate. There's a lot of young people, and that's nice to see, but yeah, just, a little peace and quiet. It's nice.
Yeah. Maybe I'll bring you a beer.
You can bring me some beer. I'll trade you for some Bailey's Light. You'll love it. You can have that. All right, termites. By the time I see you hear this, it'll be after Christmas. So I hope you got everything you want. You still have to be a holiday termite, though. Yeah. I don't consider the holidays over till January 2nd.
The holidays are not over till after St. Patrick's Day.
Till after St. Patrick? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
How are we going to get out of this pandemic?
No. They're over January 2nd.
You need the holiday spirit.
I have holiday spirit. Look at my hat, for Christ's sake.
That requires a battery.
It does. There's a battery in here somewhere, a little one, because it had to be replaced because I've had this hat for 3 years. They come in all kinds of sports things if you're interested. Nice. I got an Alabama blinking one.
On purpose?
From my friend, Sandy. She's an Alabama fan. I got a Red Sox one from my friend, Peter.
I have a Bills one.
You have a Bills one. I got a University of Missouri one for my brother.
Nice.
Yeah. They have a wonderful... Well, they were sold out last year. I don't know what happened.
I put the link in the show notes.
You can't... Yeah, put the link in the show notes. You can't even blame it on COVID. So whatever... what do you want? Ohio State? No problem. I'm sure they got it.
They didn't make the playoffs. Michigan did. Everybody needs a Michigan hat.
I can't throw shade at any college teams. I don't know anything about it. I just know Mizzou,
Didn't make it. They're playing Army.
We're playing the Army. Mm-hmm.
They're playing Army.
We're playing the whole Army.
Yeah.
Not even people that are qualified to play football, just the whole Army. True. All right, termites, be a holiday termite because you're still in the holidays. When you hear this, if you're driving somewhere, driving home, to, fro, wherever, hope you get everything you want for Christmas. The Pubcast shirts are on the website. And you might see a pre-order thing. That doesn't mean that they're not there yet. It just means that that's how they calculate orders. Or it'll ship on the 5th, on January 5th. Yeah, we tried. But if you want the super soft shirts, which I do, because I think it matters a lot, I don't know. There's just backlogs and people don't have it. And you got to wait. It's not as fast as normally it would be. So... Thank you for the presents, termites. And that's it. Be a good termite. Be a holiday termite.